Surrender looks like cooking pepper soup for someone who hurt you, showing kindness when you don't feel like it, choosing love when your ego wants you to choose silence, letting God soften your heart before He deals with theirs. God never said surrender would be comfortable. He said it would be transformative. So you know that surrender means letting go. Surrender means dropping everything that you're like, oh, this is how I behave, this is how I do, this is how we do things here. You're dropping all of those and just saying, this home now is God. You're letting God come into your home and arrange it the way He deems fit. That's what surrender is like. And some days it will not make sense to you. It will not make sense. It will hurt. You will cry. You would almost even curse. So you're just overwhelmed with it. But surrender is also beautiful. I want to share a story on how surrender doesn't have to make sense to you. I had this friend back home and we're close, like really close. She was an amazing person to me. And all of a sudden, something shifted. I did not know where it came from. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I hurt her. So I tried to reach her and I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? She said no, and all of that. I said, okay, cool. But I knew that the friendship was no longer the same. And I tried explaining to my husband and telling him, I just feel something is off. My husband's like, no, I think you're overthinking and all of that. Then I remember one day she came to my home. While we're speaking, she said, well, we are not friends anymore. You're not my friend. She said it and she laughed. But I took it personal. I said, please, did I do something wrong? She said, no, I didn't. Until something happened in her life and she didn't tell me about it. And I felt really hurt because, not because she didn't tell me, but because if we are that close, I should know. I actually heard from someone else. And I remember going to my husband crying because I really love people. I love friends and I love people generally. And I went to my husband crying, telling him that, see what she has done. I told you this lady has been acting funny and all of that. Immediately, my husband was like, oh, I'm so sorry that this happened. I didn't know that this. Now I understand. But immediately I told myself, it's okay. Self-preservation. I will protect myself. I double down. I'm building my walls. In fact, I don't send her. She should do, I don't care how she behaves. I'm going to just close up on her. Everything, I just dropped everything and I said, I'm not going to relate with her on that level again. When she comes, I would smile. When she doesn't, I will not. I just threw everything away. And after I had cried, my husband and I went out. We just went out to do something else. We're coming back. I bought goat's meat, right? And I was coming back home. I heard the Holy Spirit say, make pepper soup for her. I'm like, pepper soup is the soup that you drink. As Nigerians, we drink it. It's one of our dishes. Make pepper soup for her with the goat's meat. And I said, nah, I'm not going to make pepper soup for anybody with my stuff because I was just not happy. And I felt like, no, I will not do this. I won't be cooking for anybody. I'm already in a walk with God where whatever He tells me, even when I fight, I show up. So I told my husband, I feel like the Lord wants me to cook pepper soup for her. And my husband was like, okay, you don't have to do that, but okay. So I cooked the pepper soup. I was complaining. I was not happy at all. And I cooked the pepper soup, carried it to her home, and I gave it to her. I sat down, we gisted, we laughed. I was hurting. I was angry. But God just needed me to show up. It did not make sense to me. But then, how will it make sense? Does it make sense to any of us that Jesus knew that Judas would betray him? This friend did not betray me, but Jesus knew Judas would betray him, and He still washed his feet. God is working on me, but in real life, I won't. I'll just say, move. Let me wash the other people that I know that are for me. Jesus knew all of that, and Judas, there's a quote I saw, Judas ate too. That's what surrender is. That's what obedience is. That is love that doesn't make sense. The Bible has told us that we should love people. We don't have to build walls. Just show up in love and love them. No matter how hurt you are, if the Lord asks you to, because God actually helps us to navigate our relationship. If the Lord asks you to, show up in love. Don't repay anybody evil for evil. I don't know what's hurting you now, what someone did, and the Lord is saying something to you like, oh, do this, do that for this person, call the person, send the person money, please do it. Choosing peace when your heart is breaking is exactly what surrender is. So it may not make sense at first. Surrender looks like cooking pepper soup for someone who hurt you, showing kindness when you don't feel like it, choosing love when your ego wants you to choose silence, letting God soften your heart before He deals with theirs. God never said surrender would be comfortable. He said it would be transformative. And obedience is not about the other person, it's about what God is doing with you. Sometimes the healing is in the action, not the outcome. Sometimes the deliverance is in the obedience and not the explanation. So if God is asking you to do something, do it. Show up. It doesn't have to make sense to you. Thank you so much for joining on this episode. I hope this episode has made you feel less alone as you embrace your journey of letting go and trusting God. So feel free to like, share, and comment on this episode. And see you soon on our next episode. Bye.